Don't forget the compliment bags. They're there and they're there to be filled to the brim. Give out all the compliments to all the people you want. We've already had our first night, so we've already made friends, hopefully. And then we will continue to make friends for another 6 days. Yeah, tell all the people all the nice things. And spicy things. Yes. Um, so I'm just gonna talk to you guys because, you know, what else is there to do? Um, we're pretty like tight on quorum for this event. We need 40 percentage of voting entities within IVSA to be present at the General Assembly meetings in order to be allowed to actually convene as a General Assembly and to be able to make decisions. Um, we need like 23 member organizations and we have 25 at this event, which means that even if you're hungover, especially if you're a one person country, you need to be here because we will not be able to do anything without you. Um, Also, I just want everyone to be here because it makes it more fun for me. Um, but do take it seriously because this is where we make all the decisions that matter to IVSA. So I would rather have you here with a bucket beside you throwing up or somewhat sleeping. I might call you out on it, but I'd rather have you here than not here because the second you miss something and then someone else is sick, um, we basically cannot go through with the GA, and that'd be very sad. Which is what's happening now. We are waiting for a country to actually appear. around that time. I don't know if that was remotely close, but I will get there. I will use Google the person that talks to me. Meeting's called to order. Roll call. James.
All right. I hope everyone saw my message in the updates chat. The roll call this morning is going to be a fun one. As I call your MO, you will sing Let It Go, just the chorus, in your native language. Can you guys hear me? Is this better? Can everyone hear me? All righty. All right, let's start with IVSA Algeria. Okay. IVSA Belgium. You can also sing it in English if you don't know it in your native IVSA Brazil.
Yuri.
Parliamentary inquiry. Deixe pra lá, não posso mais me reprimir. Deixe pra lá, dou as costas e bato a porta.
IVSA Croatia.
Jest na Niemiec krajni czas. Puszczam swe, niech se czuje i mój głos.
IVSA Czech Republic. IVSA Denmark.
Let it ski, let him see. Jag visar mig som jag är. Let it ski, let him see. Jag vill aldrig gömma mig mer.
Lass jetzt los, die Kraft ist grenzenlos. Ich lass was jetzt los und ich schlag die Türe zu.
IVSA India. IVSA Indonesia. IVSA Ireland. IVSA Italy. IVSA Morocco. Norway. IVSA Peru. IVSA Poland. IVSA Serbia. IVSA Slovenia. IVSA Slovenia. IVSA South Korea. IVSA Taiwan. IVSA Thailand. IVSA the Netherlands. IVSA UK. IVSA USA. IVSA Algeria. IVSA Algeria.
Can we help her?
We have 45.28%. We have quorum.
And now I need a Moroccan in my life to wave around the scarf wherever I go. Up next, as always, we will be starting with this, is nominations for the position of IVSA President. I don't know. I clicked on it, but it's not doing it. It's waiting. No, it's all right. Nominations for the position of President 2023-2024 are now open. Are there any nominations? Seeing none, I would like to say the next GA is the last GA where someone can get nominated for president, and we need one. So talk to me, talk to Yuri. Elwin's here. Elwin's going to be here on Cultural Evening. He was president before me, which was, and I was it before Anya, before Yuri. And Brandon's also here, who was interim president. So you're going to have And Andre's also here. So there's going to be like 5 past/current presidents at Cultural Evening tonight. Talk to us. Trinity, I see a hand.
Dr. IVSA Ireland, point of information. If we do not nominate a president, does the current president continue on, or do
We would like that, wouldn't we? Yeah, we just do elections again in Denmark. But the whole purpose of electing the president separately from the other officials is because being president is pretty hard. You want to know what you're doing, so you have the extra half a year to be president elect, learn from the current president, and be fully prepared for your role. So that's why we're electing the president now, preferably. Seeing no nominations, nominations are closed and we're reopening in the next GA. Next up on the agenda, nominations for MENA Regional Representative. Are there any nominations? Nabil.
Nabil El Habib, IVSA Morocco. I nominate Safaf Sharaf, IVSA Morocco.
Okay, Asaf's not here. Taha?
I accept on your
All right, so next to Mohammed Mossad from IVSA Egypt, we now have Asaf Shah. I do not speak Arabic. I try. From IVSA Morocco. Okay. Are there any other nominations for MENA Regional Representative? Seeing none, nominations are closed and will reopen again at the next GA. Are there any nominations for Secretariat? Also, Secretariat is super important. Susanna? Salvatore? Ristorante. I was about to say very good, Mario, but you disappointed me with restaurante. Susanna Salvatore, IVSA Italy, point of information, which secretary is needed, like which position is missing, just for everyone. Yuri.
Yuri, I just say EXCO, so the secretariat positions there is assigned after they are elected, not before. So we just assign them after we have someone for it. Yeah, Yuri, I just say EXCO. Yeah, we have one slot for secretariat position open.
Are there any nominations for Secretariat? Then also come talk to one of the IVSA officials about it, because it's an amazing way to enter into IVSA. It's a lot less work than Exco, but it's a great way to get to know the organization, to get into it, to learn all about it, and to develop yourself as a person. James? All right, seeing no nominations, nominations are now closed and will reopen again in the next General Assembly. Yes. Next up on the agenda is nominations for 73rd IVSA Congress, which is 1.5 years away. We already have Peru and Bosnia and Herzegovina. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, nominations are closed and will reopen again at the next General Assembly. Next up, nominations for the 73rd IVSA Symposium. Are there any nominations? Seeing none, nominations are now closed and will reopen again at the next session of the General Assembly, next meeting of the General Assembly. Yes, these will stay open for the entire event and for a couple of days in Denmark. So, no rush, but it would be nice to get some nominations here. I'm excited where we're going to go. Then, agenda point 37, approval of the 71st IVSA Congress in Brazil General Assembly minutes. I hope you have all read them because they were sent to you well in advance as stated per bylaws. James Caligari. I can talk because I can always talk. So we've had our, if I may say so myself, amazing trust. I'm just kidding, it was all Mehdi. We've had Mehdi read through the minutes, and he's come up with a couple of friendly amendments. So friendly amendments, just to refresh your minds, are amendments that don't actually change the meaning. They're friendly. So it's less of a big deal. They're still, yes. Anyways, here's a list of all the friendly amendments that Mehdi has made, which is to replace, I don't have to go through all of them. I'm not going to go through all of them. Just a couple of small things to add in last names, make sure everyone was like referenced to in the correct way. Replace bylaw with bylaws. Can you imagine Mehdi actually going through this and noticing a one letter difference in a word, writing it down? Anyways, we're grateful for Mehdi to have gone through it so thoroughly and to have come up with all these friendly amendments. I want to make sure if you need time to go over this before we do anything with it. Now's the time to ask for sanities or whatever. James?
So I move to approve the minutes as amended by trust. James Caligari, IVSA Exco. I move to approve the minutes as amended by trust.
Any discussion? Susana Salvatori.
Susanna Salvatori, I mean, clearly I read on the first page, I think, strike out like Daniel Moon moved to approve. We just had the maximum female, blah, blah, blah. And I was wondering why should we strike out if it actually happened? It didn't happen, or how come?
Mehdi?
Benjamin is in Morocco. It was stated twice, so it was redundant.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your elaboration, Mehdi. Is there any further discussion on approving the minutes, including these friendly amendments? Are there any objections? Oh, there is another question. Yes. Dami?
I move to amend the name of the person in point 46, voting on the membership base factor. It says Altair Perez from Medellin, Mexico moved to change the base factor, but it wasn't Altair. It was Josue Sanchez from Mexico.
All right, so we're changing, the amendment is, should I pull up the minutes now? Or where are they? Yes. Thank you. Yeah, I can go first. All right, seeing that this is another friendly amendment, we don't actually have to vote on it because it doesn't change the meaning of the bylaw. But I've added it in here for you to understand. So we're adding to all the friendly amendments, striking out Altair and replacing it with Josue Sanchez, because it was Jose Sanchez that actually said it. Is there any further discussion on approving the minutes of the 71st IVSA Congress in Brazil General Assembly, including these friendly amendments? Seeing none, motion passes. Minutes are approved. Then up next is the presentation and approval of the post-treasurer financial report of the term 2021-2022. John, yes. We have lots of financial things scheduled for today. Pay attention, very important.
Okay, so financial report for last term, which is the post-treasury report. It's here. So, as you all know, we have these banks. It has been presented before. We have ING Belgium as our primary account, and then we have Bank of America as a sub account, and then we have a PayPal wallet. Okay, now we define the funds that we will show later. So we have central fund, development fund, which is an autonomous budget, and then reserve fund. So for development fund, we have these expenses, scholarships, travel grants, merch, and then the membership fees. It totals to 12,892.35 euros. And then we have income of 15,170.72 euros. It composes of merch, um, what do you call it? Return travel grant is a reimbursement that was returned to the bank, and then putting it featured money. So yeah, these are the breakdown of the transaction that happened during the term 2021-2022. As you can see here, I'm not gonna go over on it one by one because it's a lot of those. Um, there. Um, Another one here. Oh, sorry. Okay, and these are the committee expenses, the MOD expenses, merchandise expenses. Moving forward, we have web hosting, publications, bank and office charges, and then we have to transfer money to the reserve fund with a total of 57,489.75 expenses out of the 77,852.39 budget. And then we have an unexpected expense of 10,339.55. And then out of all of that, we have a total expense of 67,829. And here is our income for the last term. We have membership fee, that's 19,354.83 euros. And then we have the CF tax from Brazil. It's 2,352 euros. We don't have CF tax in Mexico because Mexico didn't happen. Sponsors money that totals into 36,988.90 euros. Okay, and we have an unexpected income of 358.27 euros, with the total of all the incomes to 59,046 euros. Here's the summary: total income of 59.46 euro, 59,046 euros, and then total expense of 67,829.30 euros. With if you add them together, it will be negative 8,783.30 euros, which means we spend more than we receive money. And then we have a total balance of 118,957.78 euros in the central fund. And this is the distribution of funds as of the term 2021-2022. We have a central fund budget, central fund money 136,160.30 euros, with development fund of 24,631.32 euros, and reserve fund of 23,789.12 euros. Okay, and that totals into 184,580.74 euros. Okay.
Are there any questions? Matthias Grambler.
Yes, Grandler, IVSA Germany. Can you explain the unexpected cost, because it's more than twice as high as you expected them?
Who is you? You're not allowed to address these people. You need to talk to me. All right. Is there any further discussion?
Point of order. Medjam Ali, IVSA Morocco. We can't discuss something because no motion was made. We need to make a motion to approve the
It's still an agenda point. People can talk.
We can't unless there is a motion.
Am I the only one that gets to talk if there's a motion?
Yes.
Oh. No.
Yeah, the chair may entertain a motion to approve, but someone needs to make it before we can discuss.
Everyone.
They're wrong.
Okay. Anyways, James.
I move to approve the post. James Caligari, IVSA Exco. I move to approve the post-treasury financial report of the term of 2021-2022.
Second.
Yurikov, IVSA Exco, so just important information here. So unfortunately, since not the post treasurer or the past treasurer were able to join us here in person, actually, Anya, the past president, is here on a Google Meets, and she will also be helping us for the questions you're making. So yeah, she's going to speak, and yeah, she will follow Robert's rules of order for you guys. Anya, can you guys hear her?
Hi guys. Perfect. Could you please repeat the question?
Yes, Brentner, IVSA Germany. I wanted to ask how the unexpected costs are more than double the amount of as you expected it to be.
So Anna Ziszkiewicz, I'm based in Poland, and I am current member of trust and past IVSA president. So that's why I'm answering these questions, just in case somebody is not aware who I am. Thank you very much, Matthias, for the question. So I would like to answer it. We have unexpected expenses because 10,000 euros was the sponsorship from Purina Institute, which was moved from central fund to the development fund to further be able to fund the IVSA travel grant for Congress in Brazil. In order to make the movement, we needed to have an expense in CF tax and income in the development fund. So therefore, the 10,000 of unexpected expenses.
Is there any further discussion? Susanna? Susanna Salvatore, really, I didn't understand what the previous speaker was talking about, because I think if this is the total of our bank accounts, it doesn't make sense that by moving 10,000, maybe it's because I don't know about banks that much, but I don't understand how can it figure as an expense if it was just moved from one account to another, and then the total includes all the bank accounts we have, including the central fund and the development fund. John?
Okay. To address the I John Trajano, IVSA Expo. To answer the question of the previous speaker, so we needed to make an expense of 10,000 to move it to the development fund because our budget is just the central fund. And if we don't put it there, the money will vanish in paper. So we need to make the expense so that it will be written in the central fund that we move money from central fund to development fund. Because as I already told earlier, that um, development fund is an autonomous budget. It does not show here in the central fund budget.
Any further discussion on the motion that's on the floor, which is to approve the annual budget for the term 2021-2022? Trinity?
Trinity Dockery, IVSA Ireland. I also have a question about you said that with our income and the expenses, there was a deficit of 8,000. Moving forward, how do you think we can avoid having so much of like a high deficit like this, or do you think it's unavoidable, or just a question? Thank you for listening, and thank you, John, for your presentation.
I just want to remind everyone, if you're saying you, you're technically addressing someone, and as long as by you do not mean me, then you're not allowed to say it. You don't have to repeat it. Also, questions can be asked in the General Assembly and just not answer it because you're just saying something, and if someone wants to respond or not, it's up to them. Is there any further discussion? Yuri?
Yuri Kalbu, IVSA Exco. So in order to answer the previous question, so yes, there is the situation that just happened that our expenses were higher than our income. So as you guys might know from the bylaws, most of the expenses that we do have, they are not, let's say, negotiable since we have to have them on paper, right? That's what's stated in the bylaws. However, in a way to mitigate this negative impact or even have a profit, let's say like this, we can reduce the expenses that we can control, right? So the expenses that are entitled to EXCO itself when making the budget. So a way to coordinate this to avoid in the future is to, after the end of this event, when we have a new president, already start a discussion between me, the treasurer, and the president-elect to have a better and more concrete budget that take this into consideration. Because even though right now we do have a positive balance, if we continue like this, at some point we will not be positive. So we want to avoid that always.
Any further discussion on the motion? As I've not heard a lot of noise against actually approving the motion, I'm going to go for, are there any objections? Seeing none, motion passes. Annual budget is approved. The chair will now entertain a motion to go into recess. The chair will now entertain a motion to stand at ease for 5 minutes. Sylvia? I know it is early, and it's okay to make mistakes. We're here to learn. But Sylvia.
Sylvia Killat, IVSA Germany, I so move.
Yes, beautiful. A discussion on going on standing at ease for 5 minutes. I will discuss. I want to do our first energizer. We didn't do one yesterday because we had the coffee break, but this is a fun thing we do as IVSA. We do energizers. Shh. Shh. I'm still talking. We do energizers when we have long GAs. We'll do dancers or fun games so everyone gets to know each other better, and we just get to have a little fun, and everyone gets woken up again because we all understand that, especially after nights out, sitting in a GA hall for 4 hours straight can be very tiring. We want to keep you awake. So what we're going to do is Sauce is going to turn off the live stream. Yes. And then we are going to put on Okay. I'm gonna table it. Oh, I'm not doing anything. The chair will now entertain a motion to untable agenda points 21 up and including 24. I want someone else to do it. Yes, new person.
Ivani Belli, IVSA Italy, I support.
Yay! Look how excited I get when new people speak up. Do it. Huh? These? Yes. Is there any discussion on tabling these agenda points? Any objection? Seeing none, motion passes. Agenda points are untabled. So we will continue with agenda point 20, which is the presentation and approval of the 71st IVSA Congress in Brazil itinerary report. And I would like to call Liv to
Lívia Garcia, IVSA Brazil. If you don't know me, I think you do. Well, I'm going to present to you the 71 IVSA Congress Brazil, the itinerary. Yeah, so we're going to start with the Congress. We have 109 members attending, including trust, excos, officials, alumni, and regular delegates, which include 8 excos, 3 trusts, 9 official, 1 honorary life member, 85 regular delegates, 3 alumni members, including 1 alumni travel grant winner, and these numbers include 5 DAD Purina Institute travel grant winners. We have this on our guests, and also we had this attending emotes. And this was the final itinerary with the changes throughout the Congress. I move to approve the final itinerary. Okay, we had also the post-Congress.
Is there any discussion on the motion which is now on the floor, which is to approve the final itinerary of the IVSA Brazil Congress? I will speak again, just for your information. After every event we have, both the itinerary and the budget need to be presented to the General Assembly. You guys need to look at it and you guys need to approve it. That's why we're doing this. Any further discussion? Any objections to approving the final itinerary of the 71st IVSA Congress in Brazil? Seeing none, motion passes. Itinerary is approved.
Okay. We had also the post congress that was available. So we were going to the state of Rio de Janeiro with some beaches and Iceland. We went to São Paulo to Paraty or Trindade, and then we in the 28th. Then we stayed in Trindade in the 29th. Went to Paraty, then went to Ilha Grande, and then went to Angra dos Reis to back to São Paulo. The attending members were South Korea, the Netherlands, Denmark, Germany, Taiwan, Slovakia, South Africa, and France. So
Now we are moving on to the next agenda point, which is the presentation and approval of the 71st Congress in Brazil financial report. So now we're moving on to the budget, which will also be presented by Liv.
Lívia Garcia, IVSA Brazil. So continuing, we have the outcoming with the Congress transportation, speakers, technical and cultural visits, cleaning service, photos, and video. We have also discussed with the events. We also have, including the meals, the even mugs, the cutlery. I need to tell you that the cutlery we ordered, but it didn't arrive at the time, so we couldn't take it to the delegates. So we donation to the university. We also have the delegates affairs, where you can see the hotel's accommodation, the hotel's changing standards for sponsors, masks, budget. Yeah, that is. From the income, we have the excos, officials, and trusts, the reduced fee, and the regular members, and our sponsors. Royal Canin, University, Premier Pet, Complet, and the speaker sponsors also. It's good that we are seeing the university, we have like 85,000 from the university, and we have like 100,000 on general, but we only could use this 85,000. In the summary, we have this. And yeah, this is the numbers. So from income, we have 96,196 and 33 euros. Outcoming 96,113 and 8 cents. And the surplus is 83 and 25 euros. The surplus was donated to IVSA Brazil bank account to support the attendance of our members to future events. I move to approve the financial report.
Is there any discussion on the financial report? Jacqueline?
Jacqueline Goossens, IVSA Ghent, Belgium. I'm just wondering, can you show the first slide again?
Sorry, Yuri, I guess the actual point of order, you need to first also propose what you're going to do with the profit before you move to approve the final budget. That's his line.
Okay, we donated to IVSA Brazil Bank.
Point of order, Yuri, I just say Exco. You need to propose what you're going to do with the surplus. You cannot use the surplus before it's approved by the GA.
So we are proposing to you to.
Yuri, I just say Exco, you need to introduce yourself.
Lívia Garcia, IVSA Brazil. So we propose to the surplus to be donated to IVSA Brazil Bank so that we can support the attendance of our members to future events. I move forward to the surplus, the financial surplus. Okay, I move to approve the financial report.
Oh, you've been doing so well, honestly. Is there any discussion? Jacqueline?
Jacqueline Goossens, IVSA Ghent, Belgium. Can we see the first slide again? Because I was just wondering. There's the cost for speakers is 360 euros per person. That seems very excessive. Could you elaborate on why it's so expensive to Chair, would you please could someone please elaborate on why the cost for speakers is so high per person? Because it seems like if we could get cheaper speakers, then the cost would go down a lot.
Thank you for your comment. Is there any further discussion on approving the financial budget? Liv?
Lívia Garcia, IVSA Brazil. So basically, it was because our sponsors gave a lot of money, and also because we had a lot of costs with the actually I need to Gabrielle to answer this because I don't know actually.
Yuri?
Yuri Calvo, I just say Exco. Yeah, so the cost of the expenses on the speakers was actually because as you can see here, there's the whole section on speaker sponsorship. So the university, the uni itself, but if you see CMPT and FAPES, those are two governmental bodies that stimulate research. So those sponsorships were attached to bring speakers. So there was income that was designated for that. So the reason the expenses on speaker is high is because we had money coming that could only be used for that. So it was kind of first we got the money, first the OC got the money, then they got the expenses, and now the other way around.
Is there any further discussion on approving financial report, the budget for Brazil? Suzanne?
Susanna Salvadori, basically, point of information. When we refer to speakers' expenses, do we refer to travel expenses, just a form of payment because of their job as speakers, or what? I was just wondering. If someone can clarify that.
As chair, I can also answer your question. I should maybe stand up. It depends per event, but as was the case in Brazil, they covered everything, all the costs of travel, accommodation, transport, gifts, like a thank you gift for the speaker. Any further discussion? Yuri?
Yuri, IVSA Exco, could you please go back to the expenses slide? Yeah, this one, exactly. So I see that, as you mentioned, the cutlery expenses that we did, and you mentioned that they did not arrive on time. But my question is, why did we bought 200 units of cutlery if the food was sandwich?
Liga Garcia, I will say Brazil. Actually, it was due to the fact that some meals we didn't have sandwich. We actually grabbed some food that was from the um, the restaurant, the uni restaurant. So we were going to use it to this.
Is there any further discussion? Vanda?
Yes.
I just want to remind, sorry, my Admirale, I will say easily. I just want to remind everyone to not address speakers directly, but address the chair. Just a friendly reminder.
Thank you, Mateo. What would we be without our amazing parliamentarian? Vanda.
Vanda Ducic, IVSA Exco. Can you, it's live. So I would like to know, we can see that 60 OC shirts and 100 vests were made, and it's quite a big expense. I would like to know why it was like that. I would also like to know how many members of the OC were there, and was it really needed to make both OC shirts and vests, especially when we ate a lot of sandwiches.
Any further discussion? Livia?
Livia Garcia, IVSA Brazil. Actually, we had like 30 members of the OC in general, and as we were like 10 days of the event, we weren't supposed to use the same shirt every day. You know, we hadn't actually time to wash it, so it would be nice to have another one. That's why the 60. The vest we had a lot of supports. There was like 50, and they also needed to be washed. And again, um, sorry. What was the second question?
Sandwich. Is there any further discussion on this budget or on sandwiches, apparently? John?
John Tohano, IVSA Exco. I would like to know where did the 200 units of permanent markers went when we were we were also buying permanent markers during the white shirt party.
Is there any other discussion? Yes. Eva?
I'm also IVSA Czech Republic. I'm sorry, but I took my marker home. So that's why one of the markers, I don't know, about the 199 rest of them, but one is in my home.
Any further discussion? Constantina? Nish?
Ms. Gala, IVSA India. I would like to ask to the speaker if the reduced fee spots were charged CF tax.
As chair, I can answer your question, and the reduced fee spots are also charged. They are not. Oh. The reduced fee spots should not have been charged CF tax, but they were. CF tax I just say this because obviously I've been in this organization for a long time and I know, but CF stands for Central Fund. The Central Fund tax, you've all paid this, is 8%, and that means that 8% of the fee of the event, so the delegate fee that you pay to enter this event, 8% of it goes to the IVSA Central Fund to support our organization and to help us do activities. So it's one of our incomes that was also just presented by John. The reduced fee spots were also charged, but they should not have been. Any further discussion? Is there someone that hasn't yet spoken? Constantina.
Constantina Luca, IVSA Greece. Sorry. I know that this, I don't want to kill the mood because I'm here to do the opposite, but I know those comments where we're talking about the cutlery, we're talking about shirts and stuff, but those are costs that every event has, and if we keep those to the minimum and we do our best,
a little louder.
If we put those to the minimum and try to put everything to the minimum, the cost of the event itself for every delegate is going to be better. The fees are going to be lower, and the attendance is going to be better. So we might joke a bit like, well, we talk about cutlery and what happened with the shirts and whatever, but it's really important to know what money are used for what, and also for future OC, so they know, so you guys, if you're interested in organizing an event, you know what money and what costs to cut and how to use the money that you have in a correct way. So it's important in a sense. Yeah, it's funny, but it's really important. So keep that in mind because it's good to have people from everywhere attending the 12 fees. We're students, we're poor.
Yes, thank you. We do want diversity and inclusivity at our events, and we can only have that with lower fees. Any further discussion? We have Gabriel, the OC president here, who has not yet spoken. Suzanne has already spoken. And Gabriel's first gonna maybe potentially answer some of the questions that have been asked.
Hey guys, can you hear me? Okay, so hi, I'm Gabriel. That's member. Gabriel, best member of IVSA Brazil and past. Gabriel IVSA Brazil. So I don't know if you have questions, but I'm here and I'm able to if you have any questions. Okay, so let me check here. So I think the first question that you sent to me was about the CF tax. And yes, the CF tax, that we charge the CF tax for all the regular members, besides the 3 members that were awarded with reduced. Actually, we charged the CF tax for all the regular members, and normally, or by mistake, we charged also the 3 people that were selected for reduced fee spots. And Julia, who is our treasurer, she's working on reimbursing these 3 people. But if the question is if the CF tax was charged, yes, it was charged for all the regular members. Is that the first question? Okay, so about the cutlery, we bought the cutlery. Well, we ordered the cutlery a few weeks before the event because at that point, we're gonna have full meals instead of sandwiches. but we had a last minute change. And we had to have sandwiches and not full meals. So the cutlery was supposed to be for us to eat the full meals. Unfortunately, we had to change for sandwiches. Unfortunately, the cutlery arrived later on. So I think maybe we already said that to you guys, but we donated the cutlery to our school. I think that's the second question. I don't know if there's any other questions about the cutlery at this point. So there were 30 t-shirts for the OC, and I think, if I'm not wrong, 100 vests or 70 vests, I don't remember correctly, but we can probably show that to you guys. So as people that were in Brazil are aware, we had a big OC, and for matters of good identification of our organization, of our OC, we ordered the shirts and we ordered the vests. The vests were also worked by some volunteers that we had. So this was important not only for us, not only for identifying who is the OC among the delegates, but also when we were going to pick up speakers and honor guests at the airport or somewhere else, it was important for them to know that we were part of the OC, and in an easy way for them to identify us. So once we had a relatively huge OC, that's why we had that many shirts and that many vests. Yes, that answers all the questions.
Any further discussion? Sylvia? Sylvia Killert, IVSA Germany. I just have a point of information about permanent markers, 200 units. I don't know if my memory betrays me a bit, but as far as I remember, there have been no markers for the white t-shirt party. I just remember that Bayla and I went to buy some, so I was just wondering about that point on the list. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Is there any further discussion?
Sorry guys, I couldn't.
Why there were so many expenses with permanent markers if they were not at the party and delegates had to buy them on their own. And we also had a previous one that was one delegate was actually charged for the markers at the party. Introduce yourselves.
Okay. Gabriel, IVSA Brazil. So there were 200 markers that were used on the white t-shirt party, and the markers were there available for anyone to use them. We calculated about two markers for each delegate. We had about 100 delegates, so that would be two markers for each delegate for them to use specifically at the white t-shirt party. I was not aware of anyone charging for the markers because they were not supposed to be charging, and they were supposed to be available for anyone and everyone to use it. And as far as I'm aware, that's how we did it. I was at the white member like charging anyone or seeing any OC member charging any delegate to have or to use the markers. And I don't remember also seeing anyone because it was also late at night, so I don't remember seeing anyone having to go and buy their own markers. Of course, there always is people, person that take their own markers to the white t-shirt party to have customized text and signatures. But yes, regarding our expenses, there were 200 markers available for everyone.
Any further any further discussion on this agenda point? Vanda?
Vanda Ducic, IVSA Exco. I would like to know, as we know, we had around 109 delegates. However, we have 200 units of delegate bags. So I would like to know what is the reason for that. Also, I understand usually for the events we make more delegate bags than it's needed, but this is almost doubled. So I would like to ask previous speaker if I could get an answer to this.
Okay. Gabriel, did you manage to understand, to hear the question?
I think it's sorry, Gabriel, IVSA Brazil. I think it's about the amount of bags, if I'm not wrong. Can someone confirm that to me, please?
Confirmed.
Okay. So, answering that question, well, most of the things that we had to order, and that includes the cutlery, that includes the bags, that includes some other material that we had during the event, we had to order them in advance. So even for knowing the amount of delegates we would have, I remind you guys that we had to postpone the applications and the payment for a few weeks, but we were not able to wait till we had a number of confirmed delegates to order some things because we had to order them in advance. That being said, we had most of the things ordered by 200 in that case, only for no one to be left without any of the pieces of things that we had for all the delegates. And also, of course, once we had more bags than delegates, and once we found that out, we also gave those bags and those mugs and all of that to our honored guests, to our speakers. So we also used it as a gift, or a small gift to our speakers and to our honored guests that were part of the event. So at the end of the day, we gave most of them. Of course, some of them were there after the event.
All right. Is there any further discussion on approving the budget of Brazil? Given that there has been quite a bit of discussion on this, I'm now going to call for a vote on the budget of Brazil. We're going to do a simple cart raising vote with a simple majority, which means we only need over 50%. Jacqueline Vosens. So for those that didn't hear, Jacqueline, try to respond, try to listen. For those that didn't hear, Jacqueline's question was whether or not, so if we don't approve this budget, what happens? We either revisit it again during this GA or we need to talk about it after. And we can come up with a resolution possibly to change some of it, as in only change the money that they still have, because obviously we cannot change money that was spent because it's already in the past. Yes, we're going to do a card raising vote. So all the voting delegates, you're responsible for your countries. Please open your documents on your phone. Um, all right, so both of the votes are on your phone. You can either vote for, vote against, or vote to abstain, or mixed. Is there, I'm gonna now quickly say, if you want to talk with your MO about this, you can ask for a stand at ease. Trinity?
Trinity Dockery, IVSA Ireland. I propose that we have a stand at ease so that the bodies can also talk with their groups and so everyone can discuss the what they'd like to vote for, and if anybody's a bit confused, we can clear it up before.
You may make the motion.
I move to go into stand at ease to discuss the current motion.
Second.
Any discussion on standing at ease? Any objections? Seeing that motion passes, we're at ease for 5 minutes. Buddies, go find your countries. You have approving nods. So, we're getting there. You've all spoken to your buddies about voting on the budget, so now I'm going to go to the vote. All the delegates that are representing their country when it comes to voting, please get out the document. I hope you've all been able to discuss everything with your MO and you've come to a consensus. If this is not the case and you actually do need more time, this is not now is the time to speak up. You can still ask for like sanities again. If not, we're gonna go to a vote. Green means you're for, so that means you're approving the budget. Red means you're against. White means you're abstaining, and you can have either combination you want. As I'm seeing no hands, I'm just going to assume that that's clear and everyone knows what they're doing. So, I'm calling the vote. Please get out your phones and raise them. Keep them raised, please, because I need to. Serbia, can you also vote? Yeah, okay. Yeah, no. All right. Seeing this vote, motion passed. So the budget is approved. Clap, clap. I just want to quickly also note to you guys, these votes are basically at the discretion of the chair. I'm calling it the way I see it. If you, for some reason, have any doubt whatsoever, you as a General Assembly member can always request a roll call vote. So that means that we all need to like go per country and everyone needs to state their votes out loud, one after the other. So then if you feel like I'm not calling it correctly, or if you feel like there's any doubt whatsoever, or you just want there to be a roll call vote, you can ask for it. Just so you know. Having said that, the chair will now entertain a motion to go into recess for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. No, I want someone new. Yes.
IVSA Germany,
Any discussion of going into recess for 15 minutes? I'm saying it. There's a coffee break. And any objections on going into recess? Still sit down until I tell you to stand up. Seeing none, motion passes. We're in recess. We have announcements, as almost every single time.
Hello everyone. So we will be selling IVSA merch in the coffee break room.
Ljubljana time. I should actually just look up how to pronounce this because I've just been not not actually learning. Um, Next up on the agenda is agenda point 22. However, the chair will now entertain a motion to table agenda point 2022. 22. New one, yes. Is it Paula? Paula Paprika, IVSA Germany. I so move. Any discussion on tabling this? We just don't want to do it yet. Any objections? Seeing none, motion passes. Agenda point is tabled. We continue with agenda point 23, presentation and discussion of the treasurer preliminary financial statement. I would like to ask John to join me up here. Usually I'm higher.
Well, you are higher than me. Um, okay, I am back. So I will now be presenting the preliminary financial report for the term 2022-2023. So, as you can see now, we have updated our banks and wallets. Now it's ING Belgium, our primary account, and then Bank of America, our sub account. And then now we have two digital wallets, which is PayPal and Wise. So for funds, again, it's Central Fund, Development Fund, which is an autonomous budget, and then we have a reserve fund. So for Development Fund, these are the expenses that have been answered. We have two scholarship grants that totals to 1,780.36 euros. And then we have a travel grant, which has 366.33 euros. All of it totals to 2,146 and 69 euros. Okay. And then we have development fund income, which are pre-order payments for the merge here in Slovenia, totals to 85 euros and 01. So we have expenses as of 23rd of December. Um, Here we have the symposium in Slovenia that amounts to 2,076.18 euros. It's a reimbursement. And then we have officials travel expense, that's 546.88 euros. And then we have travel expense that totals to 5,705.76 euros. Committee expenses, which are 2,077 and 10 euros, 10 euros. Network expense, nothing. DD, nothing. MOD general expenses, which is 208 euros. And then web page server hosting cost, that is 34.06 euros. We have publication and information cost that totals to 101.29 euros. Then bank charges or office charges, which is 243 euros. Oh, that's a lot of euros. Now it totals to 10,992.51 euros. We have an unexpected expense that totals to 2,297.21 euros. Now our total expense as of now, as of December 23rd, is 13,289.72 euros. So going over the income. So we have membership fee, that's 4,256.32 euros. Okay, and sponsor money that totals to 9,250.31 euros and an expected income of 435.98 euros. Now it totals to 30,942.61 euros. And here's the summary. We have a total income of 13,942.61 euros and then 13,289.72 euros of expenses and a total movement of 652.89 euros. Right now we have current balance of 166 for 166,046 euros point 27 cents. Okay, so distribution of funds at the moment we have a reserve fund of 23,789 and 12 euros. Development fund of 22,404.63. We have a central fund of 124,334.45 euros. It all totals to 170,608.20 euros. Okay, thank you.
We're not actually approving this just because it's preliminary, so we're just sharing this information with you guys. Good information because you have lots of extra money. So there's not going to be a motion. However, we will, of course, open the floor for questions. So if you maybe want to look at it again or if you have any questions. Taha?
Taha Shmani, IVSA Morocco. Just a point of information, or just a question, because it's not a motion. Just to the can you the diapositive, the slide, the previous, with the committee's expenses. Yeah, here. I just want to know, like why the standing committee on animal wellness is taking, or welfare for sorry, on animal welfare is taking that much, knowing that even in the previous term, it's taking like 12,000, like, and the others are taking like hundreds of dollars. Why is this committee taking much more than the others?
John?
Okay. So the reason for that is that sorry, John Chano at the CXO. Okay, to address the question of the previous speaker, the reason SCAM has a budget of 7,000 euros is because they have sponsors money that directly goes into this committee, and then that's it. No.
Yuri?
Yeah, I say excellent. Just a correction on the previous speaker's saying. Yeah, so The reason the animal welfare budget is higher than the others is because of a past term sponsorship that is going to be renewed soon. That is SIVA. In the contract, there is a point there that says that the whole amount of it should be redirected through the Animal Welfare Committee for welfare projects. That's actually the reason why we're able to do the welfare grants, and that's why also the budget is so high. So just to resume this is money that was left from the previous term, that was left from the other two previous term because of the pandemic, so we were not able to do projects that much.
Is there any further discussion? Constantina?
Constantina Lugaris. Yes, there seems to be a problem with the microphones. This one is ringing when you speak. I don't know if anybody else noticed. It's ringing and this happened now. I think we should check the microphones.
Okay. Any further discussion? Susanna?
Zuzanna, sorry. Zuzanna Czekaj, IVSA Poland. I am having one question, I think, about this COVID budget, because if I remember correctly, okay, now it's better. Okay, I have one question regarding this COVID budget, because if I remember correctly, like 5 days ago, we approved the new budget of IVSA COVID, and it's not here.
John Serrano, IVSA Expo. Okay, to address the comments of the previous speakers, we have an agenda point on revising the current budget for 2022.
I hope that answered your question. Yes, thank you. Can everyone hear me like this? I feel like, no, no. Okay, this works. Is there any further discussion? Or well, discussion, just questions from the floor, basically? Susanna? Susanna Salvatori, IVSA Italy, point of privilege. It's really hot and the hair is really like, I don't know how to say that in English, but you guys got me. So can we please open some windows or turn off on the AC? I don't know how it works, but I feel really hot. Thank you. We will open some windows. They were open in the break because we also mentioned this. And then I closed it again because I was very cold because I'm sitting in the draft. It's fine. I will sacrifice myself. And does anyone else have any other questions? Seeing none, we are moving on to the next agenda point, which is number 24, revision of the annual budget, which is also John Trajano.
Thank you. Okay, we're back again. Now we will present annual budget revision for 2022 and 2023 term. So now we have expenses. It's currently stated in our budget that's on the left, and I've highlighted the changes in blue. Oh, you can see in the right side, it's Symposium in Slovenia. VVC sponsorship, that's 5,000 US dollars. And it shows 5,000, an additional 5,000 euro expenses. And then next one would be Scovey. That's gonna have an additional budget of 1,285.04 euros. Now their budget will say it should be 2,035.04 euros instead of 750. I don't know if you can read the small letters, but I will read them all. And then we were proposing to change the budget for alumni from 5,000 into 10,000. That's gonna have an additional expense of 5,000 euros. And then the fun part, um, we are proposing an additional expense for web page, which is the membership portal and website management tool. That's gonna be 7,000 euros additional expense. Now it will have a total expense of 7,690 in web pages. And then now the total would be 106,189.36 euros total expense. That has a change of 18,285.04 euros from the previous budget. And then due to the total expense changing, the unexpected expenses will also change because it's 5% of the total expenses. Now that is 5,309.47 euros. That's changing around 914.25 additional expenses. Now our total expense will become 111,498.83 euros. That has a change of 19,199.29 from the previous budget. Okay, so you're probably wondering, we already have a lot of expenses. Now we go to the income. We have a change of income from sponsors. Purina Institute will be changing from 20,000 euros to 30,000 euros. That's an additional income of 10,000 euros. We will send our PRO for that, and then we have an additional income from Purina brand from €0 to 5,000 euros. And then we will have an additional 10,000 euros from VVC instead of 5,000. It will become 15,000. And we have an additional sponsor. It's IDEX, which is giving us 5,000 more euros. 38,937.50 before. Now it's gonna become 68,937.50 euros. Okay, so that will make our total income to 92,926.07 euros, including all the other income. Now I move to approve the revised budget for the term 2022-2023 as presented.
Is there any discussion on this? Thank you. Marta Massergatti, IVSA Italy, point of information. What's the 9,000 word software that you nominated? Yeah. Sorry, I wanted to know what's the. I didn't want to address my question. Okay, so it was asked about the members portal and website management tool. The 7,000 that's going there. Is there any other discussion?
So members portal or the website management tool that's allocated, we're allocating 7,000 euros. There would be an agenda point discussing members portal.
Yuri?
Yuri, I guess the Exco. So since the presentations after the budget, so just like the few informations, to reply to previous speaker, I don't know if you guys took a look that we only half of the mic works. That if you took a look in the delegates folder that we do have this strategic planning that it goes all the way to 2024. There, one of the main tools there is the creation of a portal that would for IVSA to use for all its members that would also be used in order to improve the whole communication and the structure of our association. So this income would be in order to uh, basically install and have a portal inside our website that will be used for basically all the activities. And I will go into a very nice presentation later with all the tools that it has. And together with it, we would also count with a team of professionals to manage our website instead of ourselves that unfortunately do not understand anything about that stuff.
Anyone that has not yet spoken on this motion?
Tamam Shmeni, IVSA local. Just for this, on this point, particular point, the breakdown of the $7,000. You said you're going to engage someone to and pay him so that he can manage the thing. But can we like use? Are we going to use free servers or so that we can reduce maybe the fees, or is it an option or not? Because there's some free servers that we can use.
John?
Okay. John Trajano, I did Exco. I'm so sorry. So the members portal, actually it's budgeted 7,000, but it can change. We've allocated a buffer so that if there's gonna be an additional expense on it, we don't need to explain how much budget, why it over budget, what do you call it? Over expense on the budget. And then to answer the previous question, yes, we would be dealing with professional with this, but there's an agenda point to discuss all this.
I do want to also just quickly mention, as GA, you have the power to basically do anything. If you would maybe like to table this topic until you've seen the presentation on the membership portal, that would be a possibility. In your hands, if you want to do it, you can always do it. Trinity had a hand first.
Hi, Tony Dockery, IVSA Ireland. Point of privilege. Is there a way to turn the AC a little lower because it's really loud?
Can the guy named Guy turn off the AC? Too loud. Look at all his math power. Okay. Is there any further discussion on this agenda point? Sam has already spoken, so Susanna, you go first.
Susanna Salvatori, IVSA Italy. I move to table this agenda point after we have spoken about the members portal in the other agenda point.
Any discussion on this? Any objections? Seeing none, motion passed. Agenda point is tabled until we've gone over the membership portal presentation. Members portal. I'm so sorry. And Trinity, we are trying to turn off the AC. The chair will now entertain a motion to untable agenda point 22. Jacopo?
Jacopo Filippini, IVSA Italy. I so move.
Look at IVSA Italy. I'm proud of you guys. Any discussion on untabling this agenda point? Given the fact we just wanted to have this, I see not. Any objections? Seeing none, motion passes. We have untabled the membership portal. Members portal. I'm so sorry. Yuli is very excitedly standing behind me. So I'm going to hand over the microphone to him.
Can you guys hear me? Nice. Yuri, I just say Exco. The main reason I'm actually glad to be present. So I'm very happy to actually present this. So yeah, I'm very sorry also. I don't know why, but for some reason we thought it was a good idea to present the budget before the portal. And then once we started doing this, we realized it made no sense. So very sorry for these guys, and also thank you for correcting the order for us. So Members Portal is basically a whole Exco project. All the positions are involved since it's something that, as I mentioned, it involves the whole structure of IVSA, right? So this is a project that is being discussed for many, many years. It was added into the strategic plan in 2019 as one of the main goals for IVSA added by 2024. So it's actually very happy that we were able to actually move on with this, right? So to start, I will talk a bit about the company that we are talking about. That also, Alison mentioned in the yesterday that there is a sponsorship involved, which is also being mentioned here with more details. So first of all, the name of the company is GlueUp. They are a US company that have been around since 2013. They operate basically all over the world, and they are a company with a lot of experience working with NGOs, and they do have those school awards that I found was nice to bring here. And this rating on this website that I turned to find out that is a very reference website on rating website software tools, right? So the main reason I just put this slide is to show you that it's not a random company that we found that was cheap. It's actually a good company that we found out and it's cheap. So that's good for us. So just before we start, since it's a US company and we are talking about basically members information, it is a GDPR compliant company, right? This was a lot of discussions that happened beforehand since we are based in Europe, so we do need to operate according to European laws. They also have a lot of nice associations that they do work with them. Something that I just want to point is this first one that is involved that is based in China, the Awards Laureates Association, which I have never heard of until I searched for it. And it's basically an association of Nobel Prize winners. So yeah, this exists. And they do work with Global as well. They also work with a few others that you can see here. I put some from Europe and some from the US, especially this one in the US that is affiliated with governmental institutions. And we all know that the US takes security, like online security, very serious. So that's a very good topic point for the company. And also a lot of chambers of commerce all over the world. Just some examples here. And yeah, they do comply with GDPR rules, which is great for us. Okay, so now like the cool part. How this will change IVSA members' life and also facilitate ours as well. So to start, you will have this whole section where you will insert your information, right? So basically this account that you log in, that will be in our website. So to start, IVSA will have access, the official team, to who are our members, because at this moment we don't know who they are. We know you guys are here, but not the 26,000 that we do have. And this is all a custom field. So basically, we can add and change information here. So we will also be able to have important information from ourselves. So for example, understand who you are, which year you are, what areas of interest you guys have, which is a very important topic. Since, let's say, for example, many people say they are very interested in poultry, which is an area that, I don't know if you ever heard about an IVSA event on poultry, but if there is interest, it should be an area that we can now start to assign committees to focus on. So we will have more direct and precise information on this. And if you have more precious time and you don't want to fill this manually, you can always pick information from your LinkedIn, Google account, or Twitter, or Apple, and most things are fixed like already automatically. Of course, the custom questions you will still need to fill, but it saves you some time to write your name. Cool. Besides this, the whole tool works in several languages. So in case you're not very comfortable with your language, with English, you can choose all of these other options. So the members will have the opportunity in a few options of language. So apparently is the most common language, most spoken language that we have. So that's also something that will facilitate the daily life of our members. Besides this, inside the portal, you do have like a whole section for message that members would be able to communicate with each other if needed. So this would also, of course, facilitate the whole integration among yourselves, sharing of informations, and all these things. And in case, and also, so I don't know if you know, but at this moment, when we have opportunities, we do share them only on our social medias account. So basically Facebook, Instagram, and our monthly bulletin. But then having the members with the members portal, every time we do have new announcements, new opportunities or promotions, you will have the opportunity to receive notifications for this, right? Via email or in the website or app. Yeah, there's an app. And if you don't like to do that, or if you don't consider important to receive all news that happen, you can actually change it to 100% 100% according to what you want to do. So basically, what you consider important to receive information, what you don't. So you format what you want to be informed is 100% up to you. And also, you can, on the chat option, you can decide who can contact you. For example, if you don't want to talk with the other members, that's up to you. If you don't want to talk with specific members, that's also up to you. You can 100% customize this part. Okay, now in more precise things, we will not have to, we will end the need of screening, which is a very boring part of all applications that we do for both of us. For you guys, that needs to request from your president or you to sign a document, and for us that then later need to check every single one of you. So we will need that because if you are able to apply, you are already a member and we can confirm with the board. We will have a huge increase in the understanding of the IDSA member, right? So their interests, where they're mostly from. And this can be on a global level, regional level, and also a national level. We will have the opportunity to have a bigger highlight for MOs and local chapters and their activities for a few topics that I will mention later on. So you will have a space where you'll be able to promote what you're doing, projects that are coming up, interacting discussions for this, and we think that this will also generate more engagement for national projects or local ones. This will also generate, of course, by the previous topic, improvement on the regions and also on the information that we have right now, because regional reps will have a substantial importance in how the organization operates, since, well, they will manage the regions. And all of these, as you can see, and I put in both because I consider these very important, will generate a huge improvement in the communication of IDSA, right? Among members, among the officials, and most important, between MOs and the IDSA global team. So I quite often hear that there's this huge gap between members and the global team. And hopefully, now I know that this will happen, but we will definitely make ourselves way more accessible, and I think that's a must thing, right? Okay, and also the whole process for candidate MOs to apply will be improved, and I will go into this how in the next slides as well, because it's not only for candidate MOs. Okay, so in our activities and projects, we have what they call communities. That is basically something like a Facebook group, with the difference that in our Facebook groups that we do have, we need to add people and take them out every year. And that's a long and very hard process for us. And in the portal, since the communities are inside of them, this is all automatic, right? So we can set the communities to everyone that's from Americas automatically join the Americas region community. And if they stop being member, they are automatically deleted from it. And this facilitates our work and also improves the engagement with more precise and information on this, right? So we will have communities for all committees, for all networks, for all regions, and one for IDSA Global. The idea here, of course, it will be open for committees and regions to decide more precise how they want to operate, is to share projects, activities, and opportunities that are happening, and then you will be able to choose which interests you to be notified of. So, for example, let's say that one of the committees that you have, and not say an example because all of them are awesome, but you are not very interested into the projects that they do. So you can actually set to don't receive those notifications, and you can just choose to receive of those that you actually like. And again, this part is, of course, 100% up to the committees, networks, and to the regions. There is this possibility that they can allow the MOs to do that, promote their own activities on those specific topics inside their community. So, for example, if your MO is doing a project on veterinary education, SCOBY can allow, and that is promoted in the standing committee of veterinary education community, that will be shared among the members there, which also goes back to what I was saying on improving the communication and highlight of the most. Also, this is something that they do have. They have a host center for courses, right? So inside the tool, committees and networks and even regions will have the possibility to add videos, webinars for members. Those videos and webinars can be live. So if you, that would be basically what we do right now in Google Meets, or they can be for on demand, right? So then basically you can record a meeting or somebody can prepare a presentation for you. You leave there and the members can access at any time that they want to learn that. And if the community network or region wants, they can actually assign certificates for when you conclude the course, right? This is something that we do right now in some communities, but then we will have a better structure for it. And also automatic certificates, which is cool. Yeah, so here is an example, just a random one that I picked from a test community, or more or less how it works. As you can see, it's basically Facebook, the design, so it's very easy to use because almost people know how Facebook works. So yeah. Then on money, there is also something that will be way improved to facilitate your lives and John's life, or the next treasurer, actually, because this will not necessarily impact him that much. So you have the tool itself as an integration with a platform called Stripe, right? So basically, when you receive the invoice, you can, if you pay the invoice on the standard way, right? Of course, not necessarily all countries are able to do this, or most, sorry. But if you do choose for the Stripe integration form of payment, once it's done, it's already confirmed, so there is no need of keeping the receipt, send it to the treasurer, then the treasurer picks it and manually confirm this, so it's all automatic. You pay, already done, then suddenly within seconds, all members already have access to register themselves. Of course, in case it's not possible, for example, we do have a most that pay the fee in cash during live events. That's still possible to manually add it. All right. Besides this, we will have the opportunity for you to pay via credit card, which is a very nice improvement, right? Because it's way easier if you can just pay with our credit card. Of course, this still needs to be studied regarding fees and also like the range of acceptance among countries. Besides this, another problem that we do have that impacts you a lot and ourselves a lot is the fact that we send the fee for payment, but sometimes people forget or they don't see the email, and then it's on our side to remind that we need to remind you. And well, it can happen again and again and again, and it postpone this situation for many months. With the tool, we will not need to do this. That's all automatic. So if you don't pay, like the reminder is automatic. So you will receive monthly or every 15 days, so you can design how often you receive the renewals, and with the link, with the invoice, so it's all done. And we will have control automatically on who already paid, who is spending, so that will make our life way easier because we will not rely on an Excel sheet that is all manual. We have a semi-automatic tool, right? So these will help a lot in controlling the status of each MO, if they're active, if they're inactive, or if they should be terminated, right? Because we have a history of which year was the last year they paid, if they already paid or not, right? This is usually something that we struggle a lot. Please notice that I just put active. The tool itself does not will not help with active candidate or active member. This will still be manual. And also with this, there will be the possibility for us in the middle of the term to increase the size of the most, which is something that right now we don't have a structure for it, meaning that once you start paying, if you have 200 new members in the middle of it, of the term, unfortunately, we cannot increase your size. So then this will be possible for it, but again, we will need to have a bylaw to organize how exactly would be this increase in the middle of the term. Yeah, so okay, that's cool. Besides this, we will also have some new tools that are very cool, right? So there is also included into this online and in-person event management tool, right? It works for online and in-person events. So we will be able to have a standardized official website for events, for example, the Congress and the Symposium, and the whole process of application will be automatic, standardized, and easier for every one of us, right? This will also facilitate payment because, as I mentioned, credit card is an option of payment. Uh, Communication and announcement will also be facilitated because once you are accepted, we already have the information, so we just have to send the what we want to announce to you, what we want to inform you, and you will receive that without us having to manually prepare emails for those, right? And this is just not that important. But then the badges will be done automatically, out in an automatic way, so we just need to print it. And they will come with, there is this possibility to have QR codes that will be used for checking presence, which is something that can be used for facilitate our roll calls, right? Although they are super fun, but that can be used, of course, is up to the next terms to decide this. Or and also for the certificate part. So yeah, this is basically how this is stated. So on next events that are being organized, just something that I forgot to mention here. Since this is something that does require, according to the amount of events that you organize, you do have to pay extra taxes, extra fees. We decided to go here on a more conservative approach and have the free part that is 2 events and do the task for a Congress and Symposium. And then according to the need in the future, if needed, the next terms can consider increasing or not this one. Yeah, so that's basically the view of the next one. So imagine that it will be could be here, like I just say, 70% is in Symposium in Slovenia. Yeah. And then this is the whole landing page that the event has. And you can see here that you have the whole part where you can see the tickets, right, which facilitate the control and reduce fee spots and all that. The agenda is added there, so this also facilitates our life. And you can put documents here on this more part. Yeah, and there's this whole highlight for sponsors, the arrow. So we do have that as well. Okay, so besides this, we are also having a whole tool for surveys, which will be very, very useful for our communities and for our networks, right? Because now they will have a tool that allows every kind of survey and also quizzes that I know that our communities like a lot, right? They have this whole multi-language feature that, so basically you write in English, but if the person does not feel that comfortable, they can choose different options of language. The translation is not made by us, similar to what I showed in the photos before. So you have a few options of other language that you can use. And it comes with also an analysis tool that, well, for after you have the information, you can check the results in, well, it already analyzed for you. It's not just a graphic, right? Also, this tool, as I said, they do have an amount that comes with the package, and if you want an increase, there is a fee. So again, with those things we never used, we decided to come up with what is already included, and then if on the next terms they see that this is relevant and very useful for communities and networks, and either I would say global, there is this possibility to increase that is just basically an unlimited package, right? And there will be the opportunity for directly mailing, right? So IVSA would be able to contact directly members, right? So right now the way it works is that we contact the MOs and ask the MOs to contact you, right? This still will be working, but it will also be the possibility, if you want to receive directly information on your email, right? So, for example, if you're a fan of IVSA Bulletin and you want to receive it every month on your personal email, you can do that. And also some important announcements can be considered to send this. So, for example, information about the symposium for the delegates that actually were accepted to it, you can receive on your personal email, and this will not require many work from our side. Yeah, there's a lot of tools, but after I finish this topic, I will open for questions and drink water. Yeah, there is also an app that comes with this that you can use. So basically, the app is just to receive updates. So your phone will just show you the updates for it, and you can chat with people if you want to, right? Also, for the events, for the IVSA events, you are able to access via your phone the whole itinerary that I was mentioning before. And this one is more for officials, but there is this whole task assignment tool. So it will work a lot in our internal structure on assigning tasks, getting like feedback on what is being done, if it's being done inside the deadline or not. And we would use a lot there how much we depend on multiple tools at the moment that we use Gmail for that, Trello, WhatsApp, Google Sheets. We just have one. And the cool part is that it integrates with Google Calendar, so we can see very easy. Yeah. So before I go into this part, I would like to open here for questions from you because I already spoke a lot. So yeah.
Um, Lauren Winker, IVSA USA. I have a point of information for clarification on the finances for Stripe. So for member organizations that have many different local chapters, like spread out, and we pay their dues, how will that, will they be paying their membership dues to still have the app, or do we still pay for the entire, like, dues as the MO for, I guess that was my question for the app.
Okay. John?
John Stahano, I will say next one. Yes, we did not forget it. Okay, to answer the previous question, local chapters don't pay their membership dues anymore, but instead it's a national MO.
So it's the national MO that pays the membership fees, however, obviously they can get the money from their local chapters. Any other discussion?
Marta Sacerdote, IVSA Italy. I want to thank the speaker for the presentation, but I have a question about the communication. I didn't get if this is going to be the main mean of communication because we were told that we will receive most of the information on the chat, and I get that this is going to make the communication very quicker and faster, and this will let the member connect in an easier way. But for example, when we have to organize exchanges and so on, it is already a little bit complicated because sometimes we receive some requests by mail, sometimes by Instagram, sometimes via Facebook, even though we said multiple times that there is a chain of communication to respect. So I am a little bit afraid that there will be an overlap of mean of communication unless this is going to be the main one, the official one, instead of the email.
Is there any further discussion? Yuri?
Yuri, I just say Exco, so just to add something from what the previous speaker said. So that was referring to the previous speaker. Yeah. So there is no change in values if you use the Stripe integration or not. The value is already attached to the price of the platform itself. So if you either use or not, it's the same amount. And now you're applying to the previous speaker. So these would be for opportunities from IVSA. And when I mean that was, for example, a few days ago we opened double VA volunteer coordinator opportunity. This will be something that would be announced here. We are still going to use our social medias. The communications between MOs will still be used via email. And also you will receive, if you can choose if you receive opportunities of webinars here on the app, like webinars, essays competitions, some grants that we are releasing. We are still going to announce this on our social media. but you also still be receiving those opportunities via your email if you rather. It's up to you. But the communication of exchanges between the nodes, this will not enter here. It's only up to you. Like the chat thing is a thing between members. So if you met, for example, you met someone during the event, you can actually search, you don't know their name or you would like to follow up a conversation, you can actually use the chat for this. You go with the members that attended that and you can contact. And then of course it's up to the person if they want to have this option or not. So you decide if you want to use the chat or not. But yeah.
All right, is there any further discussion? Susanna? Susanna Salvatore, IVSA Italy. I was wondering if this tool can be used even by MOs or local chapters independently. As in, for example, if my MO is organizing an event, can we use the same platform as IVSA would do? And if I can make my own group, for example, with my exco of the MO, or for example, a group, a community with all the people that are my members and stuff like that.
Yuri, I just say Exco. So regarding events, that's unfortunately not possible. The reason for this is, as I mentioned, there is a cost attached to each event created. So if you would release that for any MO to create an event whenever they want, the price would jump from 7,000 to probably like a few hundred thousands. And we are still testing. So for now, we only have two. That was the minimum. That was what was coming with the basics of the purchase, right? We still not even know if this is a tool that is worth increasing or not. This needs to be tested. Regarding communities, unfortunately not. That's one of the main reasons also to avoid having communities that I just say cannot control and then we start generating some, let's say, underground topics, right? And they are also charged. So the amount of communities we do have is influencing on the budget, right? Regarding how the MOs is going to use, the MOs do have a more admin access than regular members, right? That we can actually limit according to the amount of access that you do have. And there is this possibility to create groups, which is something that also on a global level, we can define which one will have admin access to create a group or not. So, for example, there would be the possibility for IVSA Italy to create a group for their members to interact with each other.
Yes, I think. Yeah.
Valencia, IVSA Peru. So I was open question actually. I was wondering if this all updates are um, being updated with the countries that are inactive right now, like third world countries or Argentina or Chile or like countries that aren't participating lately. Because I know that this is a great like update and new terms of communication, which is going to help us all. But are the other like local chapters from other countries which are inactive right now are know about this or are going to be informed about this? I saw some other hands. Constantina.
Constantina Luca, I will say Chris as well. No? I wanted to ask who is going to be responsible for this portal on the officials and exco side, and how is going to be the communication like? Because at the beginning we're going to need to create some guidelines on how to use. We're going to need to have a contact person there. So how is the contact with the officials going to work?
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Oh, no. Oh, yeah, back there first.
Laura Meeker, IVSA USA. I just have another point of clarification for groups. So will there be one group for all of IVSA USA then? Or was there going to be local chapters broken up? So like IVSA USA and IVSA Italy, IVSA Egypt, and then within that broken up into our local chapters since we have so many, or is it just IVSA USA and everyone in the States would just be in that one group? Or is it not different groups and everyone is just in IVSA, like international?
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion from someone who hasn't spoken yet? Then Yuli?
Yuri, I just say Exco, so I'm sorry, but I forgot the question from the previous speaker, because I did not take note, I did not have my notebook with me, so we just answer the other two, and then later.
The question was if some of the inactive MOs that are not here right now as well will still be informed about this and how they will be able to like adapt it and how this change will be communicated to them and if it will be communicated.
All right, so Yuri, I just say Exco, don't know if I needed to say this again. So the examples quoted the word terminated MOs, meaning that they don't have any bond with IVSA, but on inactive MOs, the whole process for applying relies on paying the membership fee, which is will still be everything here that I'm saying is inside the IVSA website. So we kind of have this login page on top, meaning that it all stays the same. And also this will be, there will be a whole process on announcing this in all of our social medias, how the process will go on the work, like how we do the transferring from nothing to having a whole portal for us. Yes, so that's how this will go. So if they are following our social medias, if they do follow with us or at some point do get in contact with our social media, then they would have access to this information, right? So answering to the previous speaker about how this will be structured between the officials. So as I mentioned, basically this is a tool that will globe the whole internal structure of ISA, right? So everyone will be working with it and will remain the same structures, right? So Exco, we are entitled to assign the admin rights that everyone has. So internally we can determine until each point of the tool you have access to change things, right? So this is a good thing also to avoid, for example, someone making a mess by accident, right? But I was going to talk about this later, but since it was requested, there are by four meetings per year with customer success service from part of the company. So every 2 months we will be meeting with them, following up. There is also on this first, on the when they are installing the whole tool, they do the whole process of, let's say, nurturing it. So basically adding the information inside that for us. That's why it's super cool because they know how to do that. And the whole process on educating us how this will be done. So the idea is that we do have this whole information. We do start to assemble the manuals on how this will proceed with their help, right? And then this will be used for the next terms. But in case the next terms feel the need, there is also always the possibility from them to actually request for them to do training sessions, which they held weekly and it's free. So there's also that if they want to. Now, answering the previous question, the previous speaker question, I think I was not clear, but groups are basically chat groups. When we are talking about where you can post, that I said also this photo here. Oh, there's the photo. Hold on. There are too many slides. Oh, something like this. This would be a community. So then we will have communities for each committee, each network, each region. So then the example quoted, IVSA USA would be inside. All their members would be in all the communities of committees and networks, and in the Americas region community, as well as one for IVSA Global, that would englobe all IVSA members worldwide. Yes, I guess I answered all the questions. I hope that that were asked right now.
And okay, I don't know. I didn't see everything. Let's just start with Matthias and then we go there.
Matthias, I'm Germany. But is it possible to open a chat group for the MOs or the local chapters? Because, as you stated, it's not possible to create a new community, but I think creating chat groups would be really helpful for communication, I think.
Thank you for your comment. Julia? I'm really trying to remember all the names, guys.
Giulia Andreoni, IVSA Italy. I was wondering, how are you going to check who signs up on the website?
Thank you. And Matteo?
Matteo Carnevale, IVSA Italy. I wanted to ask if this tool will be used to calculate the fee for each country, for each member organization, and if so, it means that all members of each member organization will have necessarily to sign up. So what if they don't want to sign up to this like website?
Any other discussion? All the way down there in the back? Anastasia. I can see your face, but now I can see it.
Anastasia Vilev, IVSA UK. I was also going to ask, are you, like, once you sign up, are you automatically put into, like, the community, like, the committees and the networks and your regional representation? Or do you, like, are you automatically put into your region and then you can select which committees and which networks you want to join, or how does that kind of process work?
All right. Any further discussion? Yuri?
Okay, so Yuri and SA Exco, I'm actually really happy with the questions. Just not that I have not have water anymore and I'm thirsty. But yeah, so regarding the previous question that was made here, speaker's question regarding creating chat groups for local chapters. Yeah, that would be possible. IVSA would have the ability to determine who have admin rights to create those or not. So, for example, the president of the national board would have the ability to do that. Regarding the previous speaker question that was regarding checking who is signing up, right? So the whole process of applying to become an MO or not will still be the same, right? So it still needs to go through GA. So that will be remaining the same, right? So if you are a new MO, that does not count. You need to go through the whole process. If you are already an MO, then we don't actually need to do this. You just need to be paying the fee as it is right now. The only difference is that instead of receiving an email with an invoice, you will have the ability to go into the website, choose your size, and then you will receive an invoice. So just make it faster, and once it's paid, you are automatically receiving access. Regarding the previous speaker question, that is regarding members signing up. So the fee will still be charged for MOs, right? So the MO pay the fee according to the size that they want, so the number of members in the size factor, right? In case the member does not want to sign up, they do have this decision. However, as I mentioned, since the screening process will, the whole application forms will be inside the tool. Like there is a link that we'll be sharing on our social medias, but in order for you to fill it, like fill everything, you do need to log in. So he will be a member, she will be a member, but he or she will not be able to actually apply for the opportunities that we do hope. And then regarding the previous question from the speakers on assigning to committee. Okay. Thankfully, that's normal. So yeah, apparently this is normal. It's just to check if it's working, and yeah, it is working very well. So regarding the previous speaker question, that is the assignments to communities, yes, that would be done automatically. So for example, we will ask a region, and based on the answer that you give when you sign up as an individual, that will define which community will be assigned, and on the committees and networks, all of them, and then you can choose which one you would want to receive information of, but it's all automatically.
Nabil, wake up. I mean, GA is almost over, but yes, first Julia, then Nabil.
Giulia Andreoli, IVSA Italy. I was wondering, how are you going to check the single person that checks in, that signs up? How are you going to know it's actually a member of the MO? That was my doubt. I thought my question was clear.
Any other discussion? Okay, Yuri?
Yuri, IVSA Exco. So yeah, that's the cool part. We won't. Who will be doing this is the actual MOM local chapter. So you will be informed when somebody signs and they state they are from your MO. And then based on this information, and you know your members, if it's a name that you say, yeah, that's definitely not our member, you just will have the ability to kick them out. So yeah, that's how it be done.
Okay, so Susanna Czekaj, IVSA Poland. I am having one question regarding the fee. If by using this portal, if there be any chance for member organization to change the details of the person which is gonna to be responsible for paying a fee of member organization. I mean, because now all the invoices are automatically made to IVSA, for example, Poland and blah 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 blah. And I'm curious if there is going to be any chance that change the details of the person which is going to pay that, for example, like sponsor.
Yuri?
Yuri, IVSA Exco. So regarding this part, it would remain the same. The invoice will still be issued directly to the national MO email. Then it's on the national MO how they would like to proceed with this. If they want to give the invoice to the sponsor or pay and then receive, but that part stays the same.
Okay, thank you. Do I see any other hands? Okay, that means Yuri is still continuing the rest of the presentation.
I'm sorry, guys, you asked. But it's fast. This part is fast. But yeah, I'm very happy that you're doing a lot of questions. I think this is really important since, as I mentioned, this is changing a lot inside the association. So yes, how this will impact public relations and also our external relations. This is fast, I promise. And I will speak faster. I will try to speak faster because I'm not very good at it. So basically, we will be able to have an IVSA persona on a global, regional, and national level, which means that right now we don't know who are our members. For example, uh, if IVSA was one person, how would this person be? We have no idea. Would be a guy, would be a girl. We don't know how old would be in terms of like between 25, is older, younger. What would be their area of interest? We don't know this, and this is very, very useful for us, right? If we know the area of interest of our members, we assign our activities focus on this, right? If we know the age gap that they have, we do adapt our whole image to something that does interest those kinds of people, right? So that would be possible to be done very easily on a global reach. Yeah, that's that. Okay. IVSA will have a way bigger reach among its member. That was something I was bringing in the beginning. We struggle a lot to reach our 26,000 members. With this, it will be way more easy. And that's the part that was asking the questions previously. So every 3 months, we will be meeting with their customer success uh, service. So basically, they will follow up with the reports and feedbacks that we give them. They will implement suggestions and adaptations to the tool. And since they are expert on it, since it's kind of their work, we will have like professional support on, oh yeah, you should change your approach here, or maybe you should change, maybe you should do this or that change in every area that we would like to. I forgot what is the blue one. I should not know it. Oh, sorry. It's actually the first time that I hear somebody say this to me in my life. Yeah, so I just speak normally. Uh, and also with the tool, there will be a whole restructure on the IVSA website. Not that it will look different, the idea is that it looks the same, but internally, the whole safety measurements and the way that we will access it to change and add new information will be improved because these would be handled by professionals. So, don't know if you noticed, but recently our website has been hacked many times because unfortunately we don't know how to prevent this because we don't understand tech stuff. That would not happen anymore since, well, they do study for that and they would be the ones handling those measurements and major changes that usually take years for us to gather and do little by little would be made in minutes by their whole team because they know how to do it. So yes, the website would be updated. Yeah. So yeah, basically that's what I just said. Uh, yeah, literally what I just said. So I have nothing to say. And then on external relations regarding to partners and sponsors. So this will of course increase the flow in our website, right? People will start using because you need to enter in the website to log in. This will give, of course, more visibility to sponsor, which is always something good. Uh, there is, of course, the possibility of adding ads in the future. This was something that was done in the past, not something that is for the next terms to consider. Uh, the fact that we will have better understanding of IVSA members would also be a major point here, since if the average IVSA is interested in poetry, why don't we start approaching companies or associations that do work in these areas to start collaborations to improve projects and all this, right? And besides this, we, by getting more information to from our members, we are able also to provide better information to our sponsors in a way. If they do a post and we see, yeah, this post doesn't work, there nobody actually cares what's being posted, we can actually say to them, so this kind of post does not work to our members, but if you do this old one that you did 2 months ago works very well, so we suggest to implement to this. So we are able to actually provide them with what worked better. This is nicer for us because they start showing things that interest us, and it's nicer for IBC as a whole because we are showing to them that like we are actually investing in this partnership, and yeah, more chance of increasing the money. Uh, and of course, there is this bigger reach, which is also a factor that influentiate a lot on sponsorships and partnerships. If 10 people see the post, they don't like that much, but if 26,000 people sees it, then it's a whole different story. And now, the boring part, money. So the contract is a 2-year agreement, plus we were offered a 20% non-profit discount, since we're a non-profit, and an 18% discount on sponsorship. That was what Alison was talking about. And also the reason is not in the new spreadsheet. They are not giving us money, they're just not charging, right? So the whole software has a full value of 6,300. And then you can see here the discount of our nonprofit is 5,072. And there is also a one-time fee, right? Because they do charge the first time, on the first year, because they do need to create everything from scratch, right? So there is a charge here. So basically, in the first year, with all the non, with all their discounts, would be 6,700, and then on the second year, 4,300, right? Because there will be no one-time fees. And yeah, this was already ruined because we were really messed up and showed you guys before where the money will come from. So you guys already know, right? So we want this to be sustainable, meaning that, well, it makes no sense. We just add new expenses without new income, and then we just take from the money that is not that is just there in our account, right? If we do that at some point, that was mentioned before, this money will run out, and then we have problems, which we don't want. So we want this project to be sustainable. That's why the idea was since the beginning that before we move on with this, we need to assure that for the first year and the second year, all the money would be assured, which luckily we had. Thank you, ERO. So So basically, the new MOU that was mentioned before is a 2-year MOU. So meaning that the money will come this term, and for the next one, this is already assured. Then the next year, we'll discuss renewing it later. We also had the pending money that was from the term 2020, 2021. That is already something that we finally were able to retrieve it and also showed by the treasurer in the previous topic. We also have ITEX that was just finalized like yesterday. Uh, and we have many others that were in discussion that you guys saw at the ERO presentation, right? Besides this, we also know that by these upgrades, these will also, we expect and hope and we know, this will generate an increase inside IVSA, meaning that more members will start joining this association. We generate a secondary source of income that is also the fees. But of course, it increases things. So, yeah, but mainly for these 2 years, that is the compromise that we are doing right now, because also we can do this and at the end of the second year say, yeah, it's not worth it. So it's not a lifetime agreement. We already assured the money for this term. We already assured the money for the next term. So we're not throwing problems for the next ones. So yes. Yeah, that was his last slide. So
Thank you so much. Any discussion? Constantina?
Sorry. Constantina, look at IVSA Greece. So I understand that this portal and this platform is going to be practically for our members and better communication in our association inside, internally, mostly, right? From there, we will get the data, and we will be able to have some data that we will be able to use to advertise IVSA for partners and sponsors. What I'm not sure, and I would like some more information, is if the sponsors or partners would be able to have access, in a sense, to be able to see what we're doing, because I'm afraid that by using this portal as the main form and platform of communication, our Facebook, Instagram pages, Twitter, LinkedIn, all the other accounts that we are basically advertising our events might come lower. Like if we put too much attention to the platform. So is there any way, except for us making sure that we will share everything on every platform and in the portal, or do we have a plan on this or a thought?
Okay, I'm just going to quickly tell everyone that we're supposed to end this GA in 1 minute and then head to lunch. So, yes. Just information. I would like to finish this agenda quite soon, or what, if you guys don't want to, we can always table it until the next
Taha,
Yeah. Um,
a microphone, please.
so, Tarek Mehdi, IVSA Morocco. I have few points to talk about. Uh, it's like 4 points. So exactly. So uh, if we have like 1 minute, I just suggest because I have like a lot of things to talk about. One of the things that I want to talk about has already been mentioned by the previous speaker. So I can have like just 5 minutes to talk. If not, then I just suggest to table this because very important things. Okay. Uh, so Tarek Mehdi, IVSA Morocco. I make the move to a table this point. Yeah. Remember.
Is there any discussion on table this agenda point? Any objections? Seeing none, agenda point is tabled. I want to say everyone did so well. I'm so happy that you guys are so like getting engaged into the conversation. You're asking the right questions. You're actually paying so much attention, and that makes me super happy to see as chair. So yeah, a little applause for yourself because you guys have been doing amazing. And also a little applause for Yuri for actually finally getting to the point where we're doing this. So okay, the chair will now entertain a motion to go into recess. Constantina?
Constantina Luca, IVSA Greece, I so move.
Any discussion? Any objections? Seeing none, motion passes. We are in recess. Do not just get up and leave. You can never just get up and leave. There's always an